Good morning, friends. So, we enter the lecture number 4 of probability. In the previous lectures, we saw experimental probability and theoretical probability. We understood the difference between the two. So, in theoretical probability, we assume fair trials, and I hope you know what fair trials are now. Using a fair coin, a fair die, a fair deck of cards, where every outcome or event is equally likely. Okay, so there is an equal probability for any event to occur. Now we are going to move on to some examples which are given in the book, and we'll try to understand them all so we can finish our lecture on probability today. So in the last lecture I showed you the deck of cards, and I hope by now you know what is spades, what is hearts, what is diamonds, what is clubs. So remember, the spades and the clubs are both given in black, and the heart and the diamond are both given in red. So when you should know the color also, the spade and the club, they both are in black color, and the hearts and the diamond are of red color. So when they mention the ace of hearts, so you should know it is also a red card. Okay, and we have aces which are 4, the rest are numbers from 2 to 10, and we have got 12 face cards, the jack, the queen and the king. So the face cards are given the name jack, the J stands for jack, Q is the queen and K is the king. So also remember this, the jack, the queen, Q is the queen and K is the king. So all these words you need to remember while solving the sums. Okay, so we know the colors, we know the different suits, that is spades, heart, diamonds and clubs. We know the face cards, we know the aces. So the first example is stating one card is drawn from a well shuffled deck of 52 cards. Calculate the probability that the card will be an ace. Now to keep it simple, we are only drawing one card, okay, out of deck of 52 cards. In further standards, you will see, you will come to probability where you are not only drawing one card but two cards. Also, sometimes you are replacing the card and sometimes you are not replacing the card back into the deck. But that is for the future standards. Just now we'll keep it simple. We are only going to draw one card from the deck of 52 cards. Okay. So there are 52 cards and you are drawing one card. So the number of total possible outcomes are 52. You can draw any of the 52 cards and all of them are equally likely. Means you are not biased at all. Okay. Now the probability that it will be an ace. So how many aces are there in the deck? There are 4 aces in the deck. So suppose your event is E, and E is equal to 4 because there are 4 aces in the deck. So the probability of drawing an ace will be 4 upon 52. On simplification it gives us 1 upon 30. So that was what is the probability of finding an ace. It is 1 out of 30. Now the second one, it is not an ace. So from the 52 cards, if you remove the 4 aces, the card remaining are 48. So now you will get the card from the remaining 48. So 48 upon 52 is 12 upon 30. Right? Or you could even do, since aces probability is 1 upon 13, not an ace, the P of F means P of not E. I hope you remember we did it last time. The bar stands for not P. So PE is, it is a ace. So P bar E, it is not a ace. So 1 minus PE, that is 1 minus 1 upon 13 also gives us 12 upon 13. So you can do this sum in either of the way you want to do it. Okay, so ace and not an ace. Drawing one card from a deck of 52 cards, the total outcomes are 52, and since we are looking for an ace, the total number of aces are 4. Now just to change the sum, suppose we were looking for a red ace. Now how many red aces do we have? 2. So if one card is drawn from a deck of 52 cards and we have to see the probability that it is a red ace, then the red aces are only 2. So we will have a red ace 2 upon 52 or 1 upon 26. So the sums may change accordingly. Read the question carefully and then decide the probability and write it properly. The P of the event, you have to write P of the event. So I have written here P of E because I mentioned E is the event, the card is an ace. Or you can write here P into bracket, card is an ace. You can write, instead of E, you can write directly P of card is an ace. So we have to also name the events. Let F be the event, card is not an ace. So you also have to name the events and then in the sum you have to write down the probability with the name of the event. So this is about the cards. Now we are going to move to different types of sums and see the application of probability where the probability is used. Two players Sangeeta and Reshma play a tennis match. Now the probability of Sangeeta winning is 0.62 means 62%. 0.62 means 62 upon 100, that is 62%. So Sangeeta winning the match, the chances are 62%. What is the probability of Reshma winning the match? So if two players are playing a game, only one of them will win. So if Sangeeta is winning, then Reshma is not winning. If Reshma is winning, means Sangeeta is not winning. So probability of Sangeeta winning is given 0.62. So probability of Reshma winning means Sangeeta not winning. So P of, we have to find the P of S bar. This is Sangeeta winning. So if you want to find Reshma winning, we can also find P of S bar, that is 1 minus PS, or 1 minus 0.62, that is 0.38. So now in India, betting is illegal, right? But in countries like England, this is UK, Europe, betting is legal. So every football match, every cricket match, tennis match, there is legal betting, horse running, horse racing and everything. So here, there is a little bit of calculation. Like India is playing with, say, Sri Lanka, and the chances of India winning are 0.62. Now, since the higher chances of winning are with India, people may put the money on India. But when the chances are higher, the returns are less. You are taking a greater risk when you put your money on Sri Lanka because the chance of Sri Lanka winning is less. There the return will be much higher. So in gambling, they see the probability, but your returns depend upon how much more risk you take. It is also related to a share market. Yes, people will put the money in which the shares may go high. That is a type of gambling. The return we get, the higher risk you take, the more return you will get. Okay, so you may put money in shares which are cheaper, but the probability of it going high is only 0.3, it's smaller. You would rather put your money in a share with the probability of going high is 0.62. So people are into share market will have a little touch with probability, though they may not do it mathematically, but they do have a touch with probability. The next question is, Savita and Hamida are friends. What is the probability that both will have different birthdays and the probability they will have the same birthday? Here you have to ignore the leap year. So if we ignore the leap year, how many days are there in a year? There are 365 days in a year. So total outcomes are 365. Okay. Now if Hamida's birthday is different from Savita, means Hamida's birthday is different from Savita means if Savita's birthday is on a particular date, Hamida's birthday is not on that date, it can be on any other date. So if you remove from the 365 days, you remove Savita's birthday that one day, then Hamida's birthday can be on any of the 364 days. So having a different birthday, the chances are 364 upon 365. Now if they both have the same birthday, means it falls only on one day of the year, the probability is 1 upon 365 that both the birthdays are on the same day of the year. But how we can see the other way? Suppose their birthdays are on different days, the probability is 364 upon 365, then on the same day means not on different day. So we find the P prime of Hamida's birthday on the same day. So 1 minus 364 upon 365 will give us 1 upon 365. So there is only 1 upon 365 days that two friends will have their birthday on the same day. They may have it, but the probability of two friends having the birthday on the same day is 1 upon 365. Okay, so we move on to the next sum. There are 40 students in a class 10 of a school, of whom 25 are girls and 15 are boys. The class teacher has to select one student as a class representative. So here the word is select and not elect. In elect there is a election where children will vote, but here there is a selection. So to keep it a fair selection, the teacher writes the name of each student on a separate card. The cards being identical, all the cards are the same, the name is written, and she puts them in a bag and stirs them thoroughly. Then she draws one card from the bag. What is the probability that the card is in the name of a girl? First case and second case a boy. So total number of students are 40. So total number of cards will also be 40. So we have the total outcomes is 40. Now number of outcomes favorable for a card with the name of a girl. The number of girls are 25. So probability the card named with a girl is favorable outcomes 25 upon 40 or 5 upon 8. And the second case for a boy is 15 upon 40 because there are 15 boys, or 3 upon 8. We could also we found out the girls 5 upon 8. So the case of a boy is not a girl. So we can even do 1 minus 5 upon 8 will give us the same answer 3 upon 8. Now here let us see one more condition. Suppose we are not considered about the boy or the girl, we are thinking of one particular student. Say in the class of 40 students, there is one particular student whose name is Akshay. Okay. So what is the chance that Akshay becomes the representative? Now since there is only one way for the card of Akshay to come out, then the chance that Akshay will be the class representative will be 1 upon 40. So if it is a girl, there are 25 girls. If there is a boy, there are 15 boys, so that we saw. But if a particular student, say by the name of Riya, there is a girl named Riya in the class, what is the chance that Riya will become the class representative? That is only possible when the card of by the name of Riya is chosen, and that can be done in only one way. So a particular child to become the class representative, there is only one favorable outcome. So the probability will now be 1 upon 40. So the probability it is a girl is 25 upon 40. Probability it is a boy is 15 upon 40. But probability that it is a particular boy or a particular girl is 1 upon 40. So this is about choosing the monitors. Actually we have an election. We count the number of votes. But even then there is a probability in what ways? If the people you see the candidates, then you will know the candidate which is more admired or respected or liked by all the people, the probability of him become the representative is more. But here it is equally likely because the names are written on the same type of card. Okay, all the cards are of the same type and then put in a bag and draw. Now here comes another question. A box contains 3 blue, 2 white and 4 red marbles. Same size, we can assume they are the same size, but the colors are different. There are 3 blue, 2 white and 4 red marbles in the bag, and we are drawing 1 marble from the bag. So when you draw 1 marble means they are equally likely because the size is the same and you cannot see the color. So 3 blue plus 2 white plus 4 red, the total outcomes are 9. Now if we denote W to be the event that the marble is white, then that is only possible in 2 ways because there are 2 white marbles. So the favorable outcomes for W is 2. So P of W will be 2 upon 9. Similarly, the blue balls P of B will be 3 upon 9 or 1 upon 3. And probability of red, there are 4 red marbles, so P of R will be 4 upon 9. Now since these balls are separate, you will see P upon W plus P upon B plus P upon red equal to 1. Why? because you're choosing from the bag. So when you will choose one marble of different colors, but the marble is one, so the probability will come to 1 in the end because you're choosing from the bag. So here there are 3 ways for blue to be selected, 2 ways for white to be selected, and 4 ways for the red marble to be selected. So I hope these types of sums are getting clear to you. Yes. Next one, Harpreet tosses 2 coins. So Harpreet has got 2 coins, a 1 rupee coin and a 2 rupee coin. So he tosses both the coins together simultaneously. Now what will happen when you toss simultaneously? You can check. The 1 rupee coin has got head, even the 2 rupee coin has got head. That is one case, both are head. Second case, the 1 rupee has got head, but the 2 rupee has got tail. So this is the next case. The third case, the 1 rupee has got tail and the 2 rupee has got head. And the fourth case, 1 rupee has tail and 2 rupee has also tail. So there are 4 possible outcomes here. Head means head in 1 rupee and head in 2 rupee. Head tail means head in 1 rupee and tail in 2 rupee. Tail head means tail in 1 rupee and head in 2 rupee. And tail means tail in 1 rupee and tail in 2 rupee. Now they have mentioned 1 rupee and 2 rupee. Suppose it was not mentioned. Suppose say both the coins were 1 rupee or both the coins were 2 rupee or both the coins, either they are same or different, the probability is the first coin and the second coin. We always write the possible outcomes are this 4. Remember strictly you have to remember this. We have separated the 1 rupee and 2 rupee coin, but in case we don't separate, even if we use 2 1 rupee coins or 2 2 rupee coins, the outcome will always be HH, HT, TH and TT. Now suppose you take a 1 rupee coin, 2 rupee coin and 5 rupee coin, 3 coins. Can you tell me what the output will be? Okay, now we take 1 rupee, 2 rupee and 5 rupee coin, but suppose that all the 3 coins are same, then let us count. So what you have to do is, we got these 4 outcomes here, HH, HT, TH and TT. This is for the 2 coins. So for the third coin, what you have to do, in the first 4 cases, okay, we do it for 2 coins. For the third coins now, for all these 4 cases, 2 conditions are possible. Either all 4 are head or all 4 are, the next coin is tail. So are you following what I am telling you? Try to understand. We'll just see. When there is one coin, only one coin, you can have a head or you can have a tail. Okay, that is what one coin, head or tail. When there are 2 coins, you can have a head and a head or a head and a tail. But in this second coin, you have taken what? Both as head. But in the second coin, they both could be tail also. So second coin could have tail and tail again, while the first coin can again have, so with the first head, the second coin had head, with the first head, the second coin had tail, with the first tail, the second coin had head, and with the first tail, the second coin had tail. Now when you go to 3 coins, with the first head you can have 2 heads, so we get HHH, HHT, HTH and HTT. This is the case when the first coin or the third coin has all got heads. Now the third coin is all having tail, while the second coin can have a head, the third coin also the head, or the third coin have a tail, while the second coin has got a head, or the third coin can have a head when the second coin has got a tail, or it has got a tail when the second also has a tail. So if 3 coins are tossed, you see the possible outcomes are 8. Head on all, head on the first, head on the second, tail on the third, head on the first, tail on the second, head on the third, head on the first, tail on the second, tail on the third, tail on the first, head on the second, head on the third, tail on the first, head on the second, tail on the third, tail on the first, tail on the second, head on the third, and tail on the first, tail on the second, and tail on the third. So there are 8 outcomes with 3 coins, but here we are only doing 2 coins, 4 outcomes. Now we want at least one head. See the meaning of the word at least. What does at least mean? At least once means that one head has to be there. The minimal head we need is 1. So more than 1 will do, because at least 1 means at the least we should have 1. So more than 1 head will do. So 2 heads is counted, because at least 1 is counted. So 2 heads is okay, because more than 1 is okay. Here there is 1 head and here there is 1 head, and 2 heads means at least 1 means more than 1 is possible. So there are 3 favorable outcomes. So at least 1 head, we have got 3 favorable outcomes upon 4. So the answer is 3 upon 4. In the same way, at least 1 tail. You can see at least 1 tail. This is 1 tail, so this will do. This is 1 tail, so this we have to count. And these are 2. So more than 1 is possible. At least 1 is more than. So even these are 3 cases. So at least 1 tail is also 3 upon 4. But when we say 1 head and 1 tail, then there are only 2 cases. This is 1 head and 1 tail, and this is also 1 head and 1 tail. So the answer is 2 upon 4. If we say both should be head, then there is only one possibility that both are head. So answer is 1 upon 4. If we say both should be tail, then there is only one favorable outcome. So the answer should be 1 upon 4. So here some particular question is asked, but we have discussed all the possibilities. And this you remember what happens when 3 coins are tossed. Now something related to geometry. You can see a square board of white color. On this square board a red circle is drawn. Now the radius of that circle is 14 centimeter and the board is a square of length 40 centimeter. Say you throw a dart on the board. Now here we have to say when you throw a dart, the dart is hitting the board at least. The dart is not missing the board, it is hitting the board. But if the dart hits this board somewhere, what is the chance, what is the probability it will hit the circle? So there is something outside the circle and there is something inside the circle. So we are saying it is hitting the board. Since it is hitting the board somewhere, how much area is covered? So area of the square is S square, 14 to 14, 1600 centimeter square. That is the area of the board. Okay, so anywhere on the board it hits at 1600. So total is 1600. Why? Because we have made sure the dart hits the board. So total outcome covers the area of 1600 centimeter square. Now the circle inside has got a radius 40. Area of circle is pi r square. So the area of the circle is 616. So the probability that the dart hits the circle is favorable for the circle 616 upon 1600 or 77 upon 200. This is the probability whether the dart hits the board, then the dart hits in the circle of the board. Okay. Now I change the question. What is the probability that the dart hits the board but not the circle? So when the question asked is, what is the probability that the dart hits the board but not the circle? What will you do? You will find the prime of this one, prime. So it will be 1 minus, what is the probability of hitting? 77 upon 200. So what is the probability of not hitting? 1 minus 77 upon 200. How much is that? So not hitting will be 123 upon 200. Okay. So again the probability. Suppose you go to a fair and you are given the dart. And the bet is, if you hit the circle, you have to pay. Yes, suppose you have gone to a fair and the fair has got a game. They give you 3 darts for 10 rupees. If you hit the red circle, they will give you 25 rupees. If you do not hit it, then you will lose your money. there are 3 trials. So the chances of your winning are 77 upon 200. So when you go to these games and play in the fairs, the chances of your losing are much more than the chances of your winning. See, the chance of you losing is 123 upon 200 and the chance of you winning is 77 upon 200. Some people who are good at aiming have got the chance to win more, but this is the probability. So next time you go to the fun fair, yes, you must also have played 7 up 7 down. I want you to calculate the chances of you winning in a game of 7 up 7 down. Next question is, a carton consists of 100 shirts. 88 are good, 8 have minor defects, 4 have major defects. Jimmy, a trader, will only accept the shirts which are good. But Sujata, another trader, will only reject the shirts which are major defects. Means Sujata will only reject major, means she will take the good and the minor defects. One shirt is drawn. What is the probability it is acceptable to Jimmy? So Jimmy will only take which are good. So the favorable outcomes are 88 out of the total 100. So the answer is 88 upon 100 or 0.88. So here you can see we have given the answer in a decimal. So remember, the answer can be in a fraction or decimal. In case of MCQ, you will have to convert the fraction into a decimal. And Sujata, what is acceptable to Sujata? She will only reject the major defect. So how many major are there? There are 4 major, and Sujata rejects that. So what is 100 minus 4 is 96. Or you can say Sujata accepts the good and minor. So 88 plus 8 is also 96, or you can say she rejects the major. So major are 4. So out of the 100 she rejects 4. So 96 possibilities are there. So the probability that the shirt is acceptable to Sujata is 96 upon 100 or 0.96. Okay. The next question is now not about rupee coin but a dice. 2 dice, 1 blue, 1 grey. So you got a blue dice with 6 numbers and a grey dice with 6 numbers. Okay. Write down all the possible outcomes. So here how do we write out the possible outcomes? On the blue die we can have the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6. On the blue die there are 6 outcomes possible. On the grey die also there are 6 outcomes possible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So the case is 1, 1, 1 on blue, 1 on grey, 1, 2, 1 on blue, 2 on grey, 1, 3, 1 on blue, 3 on grey and so on. 3 ones means 3 on blue and 1 on grey. 4, 4 means 4 on blue and 4 on grey. 6, 5 means 6 on blue and 5 on grey. 6, 6 means 6 on blue and 6 on grey. So you can count this, there are total 36 outcomes. We'll count 6 in the rows and 6 columns. So 6 6 are 36 outcomes are possible. Now here you have used 1 blue and 1 grey. Remember it can both be blue or both be grey. The outcomes will remain the same. Now the first case, the sum of the two numbers is 8. So here they have shown you 6 and 2 makes 8, 5 and 3 makes 8, 4 and 4 makes 8, 3 and 5 makes 8, 2 and 6 makes 8. So there are 5 favorable outcomes here. You can see all these 5 which give the sum of 8. So the probability is 5 upon 36. Now remember, instead of 8 they can give you any other number. So you have to calculate, you have to check among this which is the sum you are getting, how you are getting. The question can change. Every time they will not ask 8. Second case, sum is 13. Now you can see the last one is 6 plus 6, 12. So it can never go to 13. It is impossible. Outcome is 0 upon 36 or 0. Third case, less or equal to 12. So you can see 6 plus 6 is 12. The rest are all less than 12. So all 36 are possible. The outcome is 1. So this is about 2 die with the sum of 8 or the sum of 13 or less than or equal to 12. So this is only an example and you have to see for yourself, work it out, write down all the possibilities and check out the probability. Okay. Now one question asked in the previous boards. One question was asked in the previous boards. What is the chance of scoring 75 out of 100 in a board examination? Okay, the options were given 75 upon 100, 3 upon 4, 1 upon 100 and 1 upon 101. So have you understood the question? What is the chance of scoring 75 out of 100 in a board examination? Now when you talk about the marks can be what? Yes, you can even have 0 or 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. So if you count 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to 100, the total outcomes are 101. Remember, the people make mistake, they count 75 out of 100 means 3 upon 4. That is not the answer. Question is, what is the chance you will score 75 out of 100? Now first you see the total outcomes. Total outcomes are not 100, it is a 100 mark paper. Out of 100 means it is a 100 mark paper. But what marks you can score? You can score a 0, a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5 up to 100. So the total outcomes are 101 because you have to even count 0. Now what is the chance of scoring 75? So you can score 0, 1, 2, 3 whatever. There is only one way you score 75, that is that you get 75. So the answer of scoring, the chance of getting 75 marks in a 100 marks paper is 1 upon 101. Okay, this was asked some years back in the board paper. So this is for your practice. So do the practice thoroughly. Now I have solved all the examples for you which are given in the book. I hope you understood them well. The exercise I am going to leave it to you. So do the exercise. In case you have got any doubts, then you can forward me the sum and we'll discuss the solution. So I'm going to end here. Thank you.